Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review. And in this indie comic review, I will be reviewing Ninjak issue 2 by Jeff Parker and Javier Pulido. And my goodness, even though the first story came off somewhat okay, I'll just jump to the cover rating before I start to cover the rest in relation to the story. My goodness, so jumping the first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside the story? Well, only in half, to which I gave, of course, out of 10, it got half as well, so 5 out of 10. And as much as I do like the cover, does it work well with the art in the story? Let's find out as I now start to cover the internal art, to which you'll get to see the beginning, middle and end. So starting off with some of the art around the beginning. And even though you do see like some certain characters in this, I feel like we know nobody in this. Like the reader, or the writer sort of brings across that you meant to know everyone in this, but that's not how the story comes across, even in the art and the storytelling. So this is some of the art around the beginning. I'll now jump to the middle. Now some of the art around the middle. And last but not least, towards the end. And this is the art towards the end. Alright, even though there were some panels in this that were okay, the art in this still feels somewhat as terrible as the last issue. To which I gave this art a rating. Are you ready for it? A 3 out of 10. Like, I could throw this thing in the fool's gold. Literally in the fool's gold. Because of how bad it was. And I think the only way that I'm going to end up collecting this will probably be through trade. It's not going to be through singles anymore. So, moving into the next thing, the story. As we move into the story rating, there are, of course, things that I personally enjoy in my story rating. One of those things is comic references. Even though it had the sort of like letter thing at the beginning, it didn't really do anything to sort of like bridge the gap between the first and this present issue. So there were no comic references, no indication of the next thing, which is something else I also enjoy in the storytelling, and that is time. Is like when some of these events take place time-wise. It really lacked in that. Jumping into the next thing that I personally enjoy in my storytelling is location. Well, at the beginning we had no idea where they bloody were location-wise. And I mean 0 location-wise. But towards the end of the story, we got the Outer Hebrides in Scotland, which is about the closest thing that we got in regards to a location. The cast of characters consisting of Ninjak. I don't know who that other person he was with in the story was. It wasn't really brought across clear. In addressing him. even though they were addressed in the last issue, not so in this issue, because, yeah, the character's name is forgettable as this issue 2. We, of course, encountered some profiles of some villains that were going to go up against Ninjak, one of them by the name of Gale, the other one by the name of Giant, the third being Growler in the story. And last but not least, we had the appearance of someone who calls himself Kingmaker in the story. And he almost sounds like a bit of a big off villain that Ninjak has gone up against before. To be honest, the guy feels as friggin' harmless as... I don't know, what's the word? Harmless as a cat's head on a totem pole. He didn't feel intimidating. If anything, he felt friggin' less than it. So for the story rating in this, I gave it a 3 out of 10. This thing's fool's gold material. I personally wouldn't recommend you pick it up, but hey, if you enjoy it and enjoy the style, you pick it up. This is just my personal thoughts on this issue alone. Well, until then, please don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.